YouTube? Welcome back. And you guys just got done seeing the New York Knicks rebuild. Obviously, that was the last video we did. I just got done rendering it. I'm gonna upload it eventually, but I'm gonna let it sit there for a while. Upload it around like 10 o'clock my time or whatever before I go into work, that's all I have to do today is just work, which it does suck, but I gotta grind out here. I live out on my own, don't live with mother anymore, so I gotta pay my own bills and rent and crap like that. I do live with 2 roommates though, so that makes it easier, but that's my Monday. That's all I'm gonna do is work, and then when I get home tonight, I'm gonna work on the new video, whatever team you guys vote for. So vote for the team you guys want to see, of course. Keep voting every time we do a rebuild. Vote for the next team you guys want to see. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you guys did enjoy the last video, because we're gonna kind of trying to keep on doing this. And that's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys maybe later in the day. What's going on, y'all? Just got off work. Now I gotta head home, start the rebuild process. I don't know what team we're gonna do quite yet at all. Like, I haven't really thought about it, but I will see you guys when I do get home. Actually, I'm going to start the rebuild process, then probably record a little bit more in the morning. So yeah, so I'll see you guys in the morning, I guess. What's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new rebuilding video, and today of course we're going to do the Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, we have a lot to talk about today when it comes to rebuilds and just my channel in general. So basically, guys, while this is playing in the background, you guys can see me rebuild the Thunder. I'll recap a little bit every time something interesting happens, of course, but really what I wanted to talk to you guys about was like just some changes to the videos. Of course, I'm going to go forward with rebuilds. I think rebuilds are my route to this channel, and eventually it will start to kick up. Right now 2K is kind of in an area where it's dead, of course, and not a lot of NBA rumors are flying because trade deadline already passed. And as soon as NBA free agency and all that gets closer and closer, rebuilding videos are going to start to kick up, and of course that's I'm waiting for that to happen. But right now I'm just kind of in the, like, I feel like I'm kind of in the rebuilding stage for myself. I mean, a lot of people stopped watching me because I quit rebuilds. I didn't do rebuilds anymore, and that's what most people were subbed for. And a lot of you guys have come back, which is cool, but I haven't gotten everybody back, which is fine. And like I said, it's in the stage right now where the rebuilds are just not very popular, which is fine. I mean, I'm so okay with that. I mean, I'm literally just doing this for fun now. I see YouTube as something to do for fun. I used to stress out and want to grow more and more every day. Want to grow so badly, like I want to be the next best person or whatever, but when you start to get in that mindset, it just starts to stress you out a little bit more. So I'm kind of doing this for fun now, and it's just waiting to see what happens. So of course I do take YouTube very seriously because I love making videos for you guys, but like I said, once I get in the mode where I'm like, oh, I gotta start growing, I gotta change something around. I mean, there's no, like, really just gotta sit back, kick back, relax, and just let it happen. Just go with rebuilds, or just basically not stress as much. Just do this for fun, and everything will be fine. We do make it to the second round, our first season, and yeah, we're facing the Warriors, and that is going to be a theme throughout the video. You guys will see that, but really, what I wanted to talk about is how I can make my rebuilds more interesting. I know I've been kind of doing this vlog thing, of course. I did it this video and the last video. But I'm starting to realize how boring my life is, because I'm not even sure what else I'm going to do at this point. I mean, all I can really talk about is when I get off work and all that other stuff, and just like that. I mean, I'm not sure what I could even talk about when it comes to that. But like I said, of course, I'm trying to be different from all the other My League YouTubers. Separate myself where I do something different than no one's ever seen. Like, basically, I don't think anyone has ever like vlogged in the middle of a rebuilding video or before a rebuilding video. So I thought that was a good idea. Of course, it is a good idea. It's just my life is kind of boring. So I'm not sure what else I could really do at this point. But I'm not saying it's done completely, but I'm just trying to find different ways to make the rebuilding videos more interesting for you guys. I've thought about maybe during the rebuild process, like while you guys are watching the rebuild, I can do like a story time where I talk about something in my life you guys want to hear about. I've also thought about question of the day from you guys. It could be about anything NBA related, basketball related, my life related, anything you guys want to hear from me, I'm completely fine with. So eventually we will get it figured out though. I just kind of want to make these videos more interesting for you guys. So if you guys have any ideas at all, just let me know down in the comment section below, because in the end I'm making these videos for you guys, and I want to hear you guys' feedback as well. I don't want to just sit up here and try to force stuff out that I thought was a good idea if you guys don't think so. It's all about you guys, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I just hope I get some good feedback from you guys, because your guys' ideas have always been amazing. When you guys leave me ideas, it's always helped me out a lot. And you guys are just probably the best supporting cast I could ever have. I literally could have, you know, my views right now are fine. Like, I'm just starting to be in the process where, you know, there's certain people that click on my video every day. It may not be very many people that click on my video every day just to watch me, which is freaking awesome. Like, shout out to you guys that do that. It's like an amazing feeling that I can even, you know, have an impact on a little fan base's life. I mean, I just really appreciate it. It's awesome, guys. So I just hope I get that to more people. Are going to impact more people's lives just by them watching me do whatever I want or do whatever they want. It's just awesome, guys. I just really appreciate it. It's like crazy. It's really crazy. But in the off season, you know, we literally just kind of dumped some contracts. The Thunder, Oklahoma City Thunder, I want to talk about them some more. Before I do that though, so like I said, like I was just talking about, if you guys do have any ideas or anything you guys want me to do in the future, just let me know. When 2K19 comes out, I think I'm going to try to do some My Team and My Career when that does come out, but obviously trying to do that right now would be kind of silly because the game's been out for way too long to start in series on My Career or My Team, you know. So when 2K19 does come out, that is going to be the plan, and I hope that does work out well. But 2K19's My Career better be better, because 2K18's My Career, it was trash, guys. The storyline, I didn't like it. Well, the storyline was fine. The walking in the city was cool and all, but just, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Lil B or whatever her name is. Your best friend in it. She is so cringy. I just can't. I can't with that game. Like, it's, I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. Ronnie 2K, you better make the game better next year. That's for sure. But other than that, guys, thank you guys. I would really appreciate if you guys leave your feedback down in the comment section below. But when it comes to Oklahoma City Thunder, when I look at this team, I don't really know if they have a chance to win it all this year. You know, you want to look at teams outside of the Golden State Warriors, of course, because you don't know who's going to win. We obviously all think that the Golden State Warriors, including Cavaliers, at the end of the day, will be there because, you know, they've made it the last 3 seasons, which I don't want to see a 4th series. That would really mess up the NBA by far. Like, we need a team to step up to either knock out the Cavs or the Warriors. I'd prefer if they knocked out the Warriors and the Cavs, because then we have different teams overall. And I'm starting to think about teams that could maybe do it to the Warriors. And the Oklahoma City Thunder have beaten the Warriors twice, so maybe it's a possibility. I don't know for sure, though. The Oklahoma City Thunder's bench is pretty weak, unfortunately. So, not sure how they would do with that. But then you got the Minnesota Timberwolves I've been thinking about. And the Timberwolves are a decent option because Minnesota is actually a really good team. They have a decent bench overall. And Jimmy Butler is supposed to come back for the playoffs. So, that could really help out a lot. And when we go into the rotation real quick, guys, here, I signed Trevor Booker at Davis. I got Trey Burke because he's having a pretty good season with the New York Knicks. Derrick Rose, of course, as well, because he's always cheap option, and he always gets some pretty decent points down in the down off the bench. So might as well keep him or have him coming off the bench, and I might have Derrick Rose as our 6th man, of course, because I just think Derrick Rose is more of that point producer than Trevor Booker, I guess. But speaking of, Trevor Booker is supposed to be bought out soon by the 76ers, so hopefully that does happen, because the 76ers are about to sign Ersan Ilyasova, which is interesting because Ersan used to play for them, and it's just awesome that Trevor Booker and Ersan are switching new teams or whatever, because the 76ers are starting to get a numerous amount of power forwards that they really don't need, but it makes sense that they're buying out Trevor Booker. But so when I think of the teams, I got the Rockets, the Timberwolves, and maybe even the Thunder that could even that could upset the Golden State Warriors. The Spurs, if they don't get Kawhi back, there's no chance. But if they do get Kawhi back, we were watching that game 1 last year. The Spurs and the Warriors, conference finals. They were up by 30 before Kawhi got hurt. So who knows? It's possible that the Spurs could if they get Kawhi back. Only if they get Kawhi, because if they don't get Kawhi, there's no chance. I don't really see the Spurs going very far in the playoffs without Kawhi Leonard. Of course, LaMarcus Aldridge just stepped up this year. He was even an all-star. I just can't see Kawhi. I don't know. I can't see them going far without Kawhi. Like I said, the Golden State Warriors. It's going to be a theme throughout this video. We meet the Warriors. Oh, man. We just meet the Warriors in the playoffs too many times. It was really irritating. I really hate the Golden State Warriors. I'm sorry if you are a Warriors fan, but I just can't stand the Warriors. They're just a powerhouse team that beats everybody, but we do get a game on them. It was a 150. It was a 150-point game. Come on now, almost 160. We had to put up 160 points just to beat this team. That is ridiculous, if you ask me, because the Warriors are just too overpowered, and I really hope they do lose Klay Thompson next year. Like, that would help out a lot. I think the Warriors would be a little bit more weaker because Klay Thompson's defense is very valuable, but I'm not sure if he's going to go anywhere. Like, the Los Angeles Lakers will sign him. Yeah, the Lakers will sign everybody according to numerous reports, because the Lakers are attached to everybody. It's just how it is. The Lakers are always attached to everybody. They are just a big market team. As soon as a free agent comes out, every player is attached to them. They're like, oh, is the Lakers going to sign this guy? But I don't know. I don't know why I clicked on the lottery, because we have the 26th pick, so there's really no big deal there. But this is where I start to shake things up in the offseason, and I trade a few key players for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but no need to fear. I trade them for good options. Like, you'll see. Like, I start to realize that we don't have much cap space to work with, and if we can improve some of these positions, it would really help us out a lot. Reason why I didn't give Carmelo Anthony a no trade clause, because I knew eventually I was going to trade him. And then I'll look at options for Steven Adams, and I start to look in here. I'm like, I don't know, what could we get for Steven Adams for his big contract? And then I look at Gary Harris, which I thought was interesting. I've never traded for Gary Harris, and we could use a starting shooting guard. So I was like, that's an interesting option. Looking at the rest of these, though, TJ Warren, that's all right and all, but I don't think TJ Warren's going to do us any favors. Derek Favors and Myers Leonard. Speaking of favors, Derek Favors. Ian Mahamany and Dennis Schroeder. But I eventually am like, you know what? Gary Harris, you're worth almost $18 million a year. That's about $9 million less than Steven Adams is being paid. So we pulled the trigger on this trade. I know Steven Adams is a fan favorite in Oklahoma City, so don't worry. We are kind of have a big hole at the center position now, but no need to fear. We're going to try to trade Carmelo here, and there was no offers found. So I was kind of screwed there in that instance, because Carmelo Anthony, you know, of course, you can't trade him. So I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to make a trade real quick, and I think I'm going to be able to trade him maybe. And that is exactly what I do. I just offered a bunch of picks, and I got 100 Drummond. So 100 Drummond's going to lock down the center position, replacing Steven Adams. So just like that, I think a nice retool to this team in the offseason is going to look really good. Paul George can play power forward. Then Andre Roberson can still play small forward, play defense, and Gary Harris could be out there to stretch the floor as well. Russell Westbrook still going to dominate the ball, get them dunks and all, and that's just really what it all came down to. So really, it's just going into the rest of the season. And then when I want to look, I kind of want to take a look at the Eastern Conference as well. When it comes to the Cavaliers, are they still the favorites anyway? I mean, I would think so, because they have LeBron James still. But if they were still the favorites, if we're painting them as the favorites, I'm starting to think about what teams could potentially beat the Cavaliers in a series. And one of the teams that comes to mind is obviously the Boston Celtics. The Toronto Raptors, they've tried to do it before. It just hasn't happened. But maybe this is the Raptors' year. They start to play really bad in the playoffs, so that's the only unfortunate part for the Toronto Raptors. They just turn it off when they're in the playoffs. It's really, really weird. I don't get it. I don't get why they just can't keep it up when they do get in the playoffs. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry just need to keep it up when they're in the playoffs. Or it's just like, why play that good for the whole regular season and then get to the playoffs and just play bad? Like, I don't get it. But I'm hoping that it does change, and maybe the Celtics or the Raptors, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks, 76ers, I don't know. interesting. There's gonna be some interesting teams. The 76ers should make the playoffs this year, so that'll be very interesting, guys. It'll be the first time the 76ers have made the playoffs in quite a while, so I can't wait to see that. I feel like the last time they made the playoffs was when Derrick Rose was the most valuable player. They were the 8th seed that year. I think that's the last time they made the playoffs, but I could be wrong on that. 76ers obviously are going to be a very interesting wild card team if they do end up making the playoffs. A team that might not make it is Detroit Pistons, which is interesting because they traded for Blake Griffin. But like I said, you have Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond for quite a few years, so maybe you can retool in the offseason a little bit. Reggie Jackson, maybe he'll come back before the playoffs start and he'll make that push. You guys get the 8th seed or something like that. Hopefully you Pistons fans do get satisfied. One team that's surprising me this year, and I'm not just saying I was doubting my team at all. It's my Portland Trailblazers. They're playing a lot better than I thought they would. I mean, we didn't really do anything in the offseason. We drafted 2 rookies. That was about it. Swanigan and Zach Collins. We traded for our big move was trading for Yusuf Nurkic at the last year's NBA trade deadline. But right now we are 1.5 games back from the 3rd seed. That's pretty crazy to think about because in a stacked Western Conference after this previous offseason, like all these teams got better, and I was just sitting there thinking like, man, if we don't do anything, we're not gonna be able to do anything. Like we're not gonna be able to play. We're not gonna be able to compete in the Western Conference. It's gonna be another 8th seed year or something like that. But this team is really surprising me. We're of course the games are not very separate at all from the teams below us, but if we can keep it up, if we just keep playing well, there's a possibility we'll be the 4th seed when we head to the playoffs, which is crazy to think about. The Denver Nuggets are still a team, of course, that can make the playoffs. There's just a lot of interesting teams this year. I can't wait for the NBA playoffs. Like, this season has gone by really freaking fast. It feels like just yesterday that the NBA season was starting. And I'm not going to lie, at the beginning of this NBA season, I wasn't paying attention much, which was very bad on my part. I should have been paying attention a little bit more, but I've been all locked in on NBA ever since, like, my big move of my life, basically. I've been all locked in on the NBA, so NBA has been very interesting to watch this year, of course. And then you look at the rotation. I'm going to have Andre Roberson at the power forward. Actually, Paul George. Yeah, let's do Paul George. And then JaMychal Green coming off the bench. And then it's going to be the last spot, of course, because J.R. Smith shooting could be valuable. I mean, you need a J.R. Smith shot once in a while because, you know, he just does J.R. Smith things, of course. DeMarre Carroll is going to be our 6th man, which I think is a very underrated signing right there. And then I do kind of want to get J.R. Smith some more minutes right here because J.R. Smith, like I said, J.R. Swish's shooting could be valuable when it comes down to the playoffs. We signed JaVale McGee, and we're not even going to give him minutes. That's the funny thing. So I do feel bad for you, JaVale McGee, but I can't feel too bad for you because you're on the Golden State Warriors. And just speaking of the Golden State Warriors, like, do you guys think Zaza's play was dirty or not? Personally, I think it was dirty because it just looked like he slowed down, and he didn't even try to stop himself when he fell to the floor. It looks like he, you know, decided in a millisecond where I'm going to land. He's like, oh, you know what? Russell Westbrook's legs are standing right there. I'm just going to, you know, land on him. A lot of people were defending him, which is fine if you want to defend Zaza. I personally hate the dude because he's a dirty player, and I don't like seeing that. But, man, come on now. That was blatantly obvious that that was a dirty play. But in my opinion, it was blatantly obvious. Some people do not think so. We're facing San Antonio Spurs here, and I really hope we can knock them out because I really want to move on to the NBA Finals this year. But guess what? The Golden State Warriors again. And I just can't stand these guys. We're up 1-1 though. They're up 2-1. We do even the series. We're up 3-2. Can we move on in 6? No, game 7. Here we come. And man, I just can't stand the Warriors, dude. Like, I'm getting tired of the Warriors, bro. Like, the more and more I think about it, it's just really stupid. I freaking hate the freaking... My apologies, guys. I got a little out of control there. I just can't stand the Golden State Warriors. Beating me 3 times in this rebuilding video was very, very irritating to see. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys' continued support. Subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate it. But this is Crushables, and I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so dang much. I appreciate you all. Bye.